Hello, people from YouTube. My name is Ricardo. I'm the host for today. I'm not a teacher. I'm a people that have a function to try to let the environment better and try to encourage people to talk. Talk and Talk a platform from the idioms. We have besides of the English, we have another language like German, Chinese, Spanish, French. And we'll talk a little bit about books today, but typically we start introduce ourselves. My name is Ricardo. I live at São Vicente. It's a small city of São Paulo state. It's first city of Brazil. I used to say this information because I consider very important, mainly for me because I live here. Please, guys, Wellsing, could you start introduce yourself, my friend?
Yes, my friend. Good morning, guys. My name is Wals and I live in Pitangui, Minas Gerais. I'm 50 years old and I'm married and in my free time I like watching movies on TV, watching soccer on TV, and sometimes to go to the gym, make physical exercise. And I've been here in Talk for a year to improve my English.
Great, my friend. Angel Luis, could you tell me a little bit about you?
Yes. So hi again, guys. I'm Luis. I'm 27. I live here in São Paulo with my girlfriend. I'm a technology student and a data intern. I like to read in my free time and play sports too. I like running, swimming. That's it.
Great. Angel Aurelio, please.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Aurelio. I'm 54 years old. I was born in Italy. I live in Italy. And I stay here because I like to practice different languages, because in this way I can improve my capacity to speak and improve my fluency. And because in this incredible, in my point of view, incredible place, I have the opportunity to meet with other people in other parts of the world. And in this way, I can improve my ability and my personality. And I think
Great.
that is so incredible.
Yeah, no, another aspects from another culture too. And the last but not least, please, Catherine, I believe that I don't know you. I'm sorry if I forgot because sometimes there are a lot of people. Go ahead,
No
please introduce.
problem. It's my first time in this immersion,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I already know you
great.
and from the other conversations.
I'm sorry.
I think you are not the host yet, but
Oh, see.
yeah. So hello guys, I'm Catherine. I'm 30. I live in a small city called Nilópolis in Rio, and I'm a biology teacher. I'm very,
Yeah.
very excited because tomorrow I'll go to Rock in Rio. So,
Oh, great. That's wonderful.
so yeah, maybe I can find someone there to practice my English too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
I remember you, Catherine. I'm sorry because I'm an old guy, so I start forgetting some things. Well, let's start the questions. Please, Catherine, well, let's start with you. Uh, could you read and answer the question number one, please?
Of course, what is your favorite book and why? Mm, the favorite book that I've already had is a book called um, I don't know the name in English. It's dark something because in Portuguese is matéria escura. And nowadays we can find a series about this book on Apple TV. It's very, very good
Yeah.
because this book is about, how can I say, multiverse. So they talk about the choice that the choice we took in the past and how this affect our life, how the life changed with even choice we have made.
Great.
So
And
it's
I
my favorite
forgot
book.
to, yeah, great. I forgot to say something. We usually to don't correct each other, but depends on the person. If you would you like to receive some tip, because I don't know, forgot some words, don't worry. Could you request for this information? So
Yeah, I don't know. This name is Dark
dark
Matter.
matter. I
Yeah.
made a research because I
Yeah.
don't remember. So and you, Ozzy, go ahead, my friend, please.
Yes. Nowadays, I don't read I don't read books nowadays. But I remember when I was a kid in my school days, I was reading one book for exam. I remember Memórias de um Sargento de Milícias. Is
It's a classic.
a very good book because
Mhm.
the history of this book is very very funny and very interesting for me, and I never forget this book. Memórias do Sargento Milícia is very good book for me.
And you, Luis, please.
I have a favorite book of like all time. It's Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. There's a TV series in Apple TV too. The story it's like a multi-generation story. It's like 4 generations of this woman named Sunja. It's a beautiful story about a Korean woman living in Korea during Japan's colonization of Korea, and after she immigrates to Japan and live her life there. It's during, by the way, World War I and World War II, because the story happens in 1910, and we can share her story through 1980 something, I guess. So it's about suffer at all, but we have this question surrounding this history. It's like, is it a woman's purpose to suffer? Because she has like a very difficult life. She got pregnant with, I don't know, 16, 14, something, and outside of her marriage. So it's a difficult story to read, but it's my favorite because it's so beautiful. We can see life like Korea. You can see through her story about Korean food, Korean how can I say in English? Visions of the place, I guess, and the place of women in Korean society, and after a Korean woman in a diaspora in Japan. So it's so beautiful, and it's my favorite story of all time.
Great. Aurelio, please.
Yes, I have with me my first book. This is in Italian,
Wow.
logically. In my point of view, this is for me is the best book because when I was young, I found this book in a shop, and thanks to this book, I discovered an incredible topic regarding the human spaceflight. And in that moment, I started to read all books regarding this topic, and nowadays it's the same. I proceed to follow this topic nowadays, and thanks to this book, I started a lot of years ago to study English because the Italian books regarding this topic is very difficult to find. But in English, we have a lot of books. For this reason, I decided to started to study English because in this way I have the possibility to read a lot of information, and for me is the best. That's it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
great.
I lost the information. What is the topic?
Regarding this, human space flight. Now
Ah,
it's right in English. Human space
okay,
flight.
okay, okay.
Okay,
It's a real. It's not a sci-fi.
sure. Um, well, it's hard to choose just one. And I don't use it to read a lot of books constantly, but in some parts of my life I read. Well, during some years I read more than 100 books, but nowadays I don't listen. My daughter used to read 50 books by year, sometimes more. For example, I was talking with her. I was talking with her, and she told me that I read 11 books this month. But on well, as I told you, I'm an old guy, and when I was a kid, there is a famous book collection called uh, Vagalume, Coleção Vagalume. And yeah, there are a lot of different books. And sometimes it's a little weird for me, because, for example, some teachers used to request the kids read, and they choose classics like Site Memórias Entre Milícias or Dom Casmurro, and that's nice. That's a great opportunity, but it's not exactly a book to introduce this kind of word on kids or children, because I believe that is a little deep. But I remember a book called O Caso da Borboleta Tíria. That's wonderful, remarkable on my child, because it's a detective story, and they have an investigation that's I like. I like it so much. And when I became an adult, I love Dan Brown books, particular Angels and Demons. That's wonderful, because sometimes when I read books from this author, it sounded like you could see clearly. It sounded like a movie. That's wonderful. And well, I believe that is a adventure adventure book. Yeah, actually. But sometimes I read books in English, and it's a good tip for you guys. It's called Readers, and yeah, it's a common book. The people, for example, shows the original book and transform this book in stages. So I don't know, for example, Harry Potter, you could choose different levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced. Is very nice. So, and normally, actually, one of the shows, for example, beginning level, that are less pages if you compare intermediate or advanced, even including certainly the original book. Well, let's start the other question, number 2. Who is your favorite author, and what do you like about their writing style? Sometimes I use it to write some things. I write some books, 3 books I write during my life. I sometimes it's a little weird, because I don't have imagination stucks or blocks. If you, for example, if you started writing a piece of paper, if you stop, for example, 1 minute, I can write 1 minute. If you stop an hour, I can write an hour. I don't have this kind of problem. I don't say that is good, but I can express and put my thoughts on the paper. But so in this case, I like to put details on this paper. So in this case, I love Dan Brown. Because of that, I can describe a complete scene. You could read this book and the image is could you see clearly on your mind the scenario and the other stuffs. So the both situations, I love Dan Brown, and I like to let the scenario detail. So I believe this is better when you try to introduce ourselves in this kind of history. Andrew Rosie, go ahead, my friend.
Well, my favorite author. I never read any book of this author, but
Sure.
the moves about your books is amazing for me. The author of Harry Potter. I don't remember the name of author, but
J.K. Rowling.
yeah, but the movies is amazing. I believe this the creativity of
Yeah,
this histories
certainly.
Harry Potter. The all movies of Harry Potter is very amazing for me, and this author of the
Yeah,
Harry Potter is the best for me.
certainly. When J.K. Rowling writes this book and created this story, let me clarify. When do you, for example, I write a book and I create a history very similar to the ordinary world. So in this case, a lot of things exist. But on case of J.K. Rowling, she have to create the characters and the world because it's a different world, different perspective. So it's so creative.
I've already seen a video compare
Sure.
Harry Potter with Castelo rá
Oh yeah. I never watched.
It's very similar. The
Maybe,
idea is very similar.
maybe. Indu, Luiz, go ahead, please.
Haruki Murakami is not my favorite author, but is the one I like reading the most. I enjoy reading the most. He's a Japanese author. He writes so beautifully. You feel like you're dreaming, but it's not strange like a dream. So he writes like fantastic stories it's normal. You feel like it's not supernatural or something. But I share the same feeling that Harry Potter community share with J.K. Rowling. I love his work, but I hate him because he's always writing about women in a pejorative way, like the main maniac pixie dream girl. He's always writing like woman with no desires, with no curiosity. She's always like untouchable. Sorry, YouTube, but with no pubic hair, with skin, always skinny, smooth skin. She doesn't exist, by the way. It's not real. So I love his work, but I have something against him. But he's kind of my favorite, I have to admit.
Great. Catarine, please.
I think my favorite author is Sophie Cancela. She writes books. I don't know the name. Maybe it is romantic comedy, romantic, something like that.
Mhm.
So I think it's very I enjoy the read these books because it's very, very light for me. So yeah, that is the main reason.
Yeah, I visited the Biennale the last Saturday, and there are almost all of the stands have this kind of book,
Sophie
comedy.
Cancela.
No, about
Oh.
comedy, romantic comedy, but he's the author too. But I talk about the
Yeah, I think
genre.
is a kind of book to turn off the brain, you know.
Yeah, teenagers a lot buying
So
this book. This
I don't
kind,
I
this
don't need
author and the Jane
y-
too.
yeah, I read, but I don't need thinking about it. It's
Sure,
not a book to think about it. So I like it to just to be pressure. So
sure.
yeah.
And you, Aurelio, go ahead, my friend.
In my case, to be honest, I don't like Harry Potter, but
Oh
this
yeah,
is my point of view. Is not
don't worry.
I no. My best author is Jules Verne. Yes, a lot of
Julia Verne
people
is a
think.
wonderful.
Yes,
A lot
no,
of families
a
in
lot
Brazil.
of people. My friend told me, Aurelio, Jules Verne is old author, is old style, but I love these types of books.
Sure.
I'm sorry, because I think that when him wrote this book, we haven't all this technology, and in that moment, him think regarding the future and image
Yeah,
the future that I can tell you that is similar the reality nowadays. It's
sure.
incredible.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
read all types of book of Jules Verne, and in my point of view, is the best because it's full of adventure, full of technician topics, full of imagination. Is yes, sometimes is like a sci-fi, but not exaggerate. Is a sci-fi
Mhm.
like a reality, and thanks these all these type of book I did a lot of I can tell in this way a lot of trip thanks to the fantasy to my fantasy because unfortunately in the reality I haven't the possibility to do a lot of trip in all parts of the world, but in this way I can, and for me
Sure.
this is so important. That's it.
Yeah, that a lot of people used to say about Star Wars and Star Trek is 60 or 70 ages around this the movies was released, but Jules Verne write and release books in I believe that 18th century, I believe, né? So that's and you think about it, oh, a lot of ideas né, take place nowadays that's so weird sometimes. Né? The people used to say, oh, Jules Verne is a time travel, né? Of course. He visited the current age and go back to the past and write books. So well, let's talk about question number 3, book that have most impact. I'm not sure if the biggest one because it's hard, but I became impacted when I read a book called Kite Runner because, well, you could see what news on about uh, this kind of this region on this planet, you know, around, I forgot the name, Oriente Médio, that region. So this one on this book, the author write about some details and I didn't know. So it's a little sad and I became a little impacted because I'm a little shocked because it's not so long time ago. This history passed around 80s. So in this case, is a for me is a shock that things like that occurs. Let me clarify. During a match soccer, and so the guys have the first time, the first period. So the match occurs normally, and the interval, the guys go to the field and create a role and put the dead people on this role. Actually, the people was alive, and I'm not say how do you say apedrejaram the people, and I forgot the name, taparam o buraco, and the mat continue after that. That's so incredible. Think this kind of situation occurs on our planet. So, and the other stuffs. So I don't want to say a lot of plot twists, but if you would like to read, that's that's it's a nice move. It's a little sad, but it's a nice move. And you, Aurelio, go ahead, my friend.
Yes. Now, regarding this question is always the same. The first book that I took when I was younger, because thanks to this curiosity that I discovered regarding this topic, I started to read a lot of books, and at the same time I started to study English. I study all regarding the technology, and my curiosity regarding different topics like human spaceflight, computer, books in a different languages, and other thing. I improve in a different way, and this is good because if I don't found this book, I think that nowadays my life is so different, because I think like the other young people. When I was younger, I'm so stupid because I think that the school and the study is not important in my life. But years after years, I discovered that the school and the study a different topics is so important, because in this way you can improve you can open your mind, and you are a perspective of the life in a very different way. And for this, I'm so happy. I think that it was an incredible coincidence for me to stay in that place and discover in that shop this for me incredible book. That's it.
And you, Luis, go, please, could you answer?
Sorry, I forgot about the question.
About the number, about a book that had impact your life, some aspects.
I guess there's a book that impacted me so much when I was deciding if I was becoming a vegan. I was a vegetarian, so I was deciding if I was able to be a vegan, because I had like anemia, whatever. O Bem Viver by Alberto Acosta. I don't know if he's Colombian or Bolivian, but it's a book about environment and nature. He talks about nature as an individual with rights. So it changed me a little, because his work is very similar to Ailton Krenak. So he talks about climate changes and society. It was very important for me.
Sure.
Probably he's from Bolivia. Bem Viver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Catherine, please.
Yeah, in my case, the book that is have a very impact in my life is this book here. Yeah.
I can't read. I don't know.
Yeah, the name is Tudo que Deixamos para Trás. They talk about 3 different times, so past, present, and future, and is a dystopia about the beings extinction. I don't know is the correct name, when the beings are dead. So I used this book to do my final work in college, so has a big impact in my life.
Great. Walden, please.
Yes, I'm Christian, and certainly my book most impact for me is a Holy Bible because it's a manual of my life, and I read this book is since I was a kid, and the Holy Bible is very important.
Yeah, also have some problems. Well, let me. I would like to jump for the question number 6 because we don't have enough time to answer all of them. So in this case, let me know if you prefer a read fiction or non-fiction book. In my opinion, I don't have a preferred one. I love good histories. Doesn't matter if it's a fiction or not, no fiction book. Angel Luis, please.
I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer for this question because it depends on the mood. It depends on the. It depends. I don't know what I'm living in
Sure.
life. I personally, I think I prefer non-fiction, fiction. Sorry. I'm always reading. I read this kind of book since I was a child, so it is important for me, like Harry Potter and
Mhm.
Percy Jackson or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm very into non-fiction too because it's a good way to study, to know myself, to improve myself. So I'm in between these two types of books.
Yeah. I believe that uh, I don't know. I believe that you could receive good information, good news on the both styles. No? In my opinion, normally when I have would like to have fun, just enjoy a book. So a fiction is good. Sometimes the non-fiction is a little deep in some aspects because it's a real thing. For example, I mentioned Kite Runner is a fiction move. I'm not sure if it was a fiction move. The author is tell about a story about yours, about himself, but I'm not sure. Sometimes the people could don't mention some aspects or it's not exactly the real thing. But I know that things like that is occurs on our society. And so in this case, sometimes I became a little stuck about this information. Walden, would you like to finish your answer and or could jump for the next one? We talk about your preference. Would you like to read fiction or non-fiction books?
Yeah, I prefer fiction
Oh
because
yeah.
not fiction is a real life. I have a lot of have a lot of problems,
Yeah,
and fiction is very good. And
sure.
I like so much fiction, and I like so much comedy and
Mm-hmm.
sci-fi too,
I
and
know.
technology. And this is my career area, and this I like so much. I like so much biography.
Yeah,
Real life, I like so much
I like
biography.
to.
Like a biography of Freddie Mercury, for example, is a very good movie. And
Ah,
yeah, yeah, biographies I like so much. It's very interesting books and movies about the persons, and I like so much. For example, people, Brazilian people like Silvio Santos, for example, have a, a interesting life history, and I like so much this.
uh, Aurelio, go ahead, please.
Yes, I completely agree with Walsen. I'm so sorry for the pronunciation, but your name is so difficult for me. Now, like him, I like the all types of biography books. In particular, most recently, I read regarding the Elon Musk and Steve Jobs and other important person, because I like discover all expected regarding his life. Because yes, I'm not a genius, I'm not a person, a very important person, but in this way I can understand a lot regarding all the strategy they use for your life, your activity. In particular, I love to follow all activity regarding Elon Musk. But nowadays, in these last days, I started to read this type of book. Is in Spanish, because I read a different books in English, in Italian, in Spanish, and I like this type of book because explain all the story regarding the Roman Empire in the ancient, in the century atrás. Is the century? Yes, I'm so sorry. And, they are so incredible, because in this way I discover a lot of information regarding the story of the Roman Empire, and I discovered that regarding this topic I'm so ignorant. It's so incredible, because I live in Italian, and theoretically is the Roman Empire is part of the Italian history, but I'm so ignorant.
No
So sorry,
problem.
guys.
Okay.
But it's very beautiful, interesting, this type of book, and the author Nestori Marquez, because he is an archaeologist, and explain all the story, all the places very deeply. And my impression is to stay in this place. And for this reason, I spoke with my wife, with my family, and I have this idea, and I tell her, why you don't go in Roman to explore, to visit the Roma city, the Naples city, the Pompeii Herculano city, because in this way we have a real immersion in the ancient city, Roman city. Is a project for us for the future, not for this year, probably for the new year.
Well, and Catherine?
Okay, so about the question,
I'm sorry.
no, no
I
problem.
think that you was requesting, so go ahead.
No, it's number 6, right? I
Yeah.
prefer fiction books, because I think fiction books, we have the opportunity to think about it, some topic, because I really like to read this topic or utopic gender. And in this kind of books, normally the author put some questions in the spotlight. So I think it's an opportunity to think about it, the question. And there is the reason that I am a big fan from Apple TV, because I think the series there is almost all the series about this topic. So yeah, I really like to think about it. So yeah, that's it.
Well, we don't have enough time. I would like to put together the question number 9 and 10 and try to answer not as fast as possible. Do you prefer physical books, e-books, or audiobooks? Why? And see if you believe that physical books are going to disappear now. So I don't have a preferred one. It's good because my daughter don't be here, so probably she argue with me because she loved the physical ones, but I certainly I believe when you read the ebook, né? So I believe that there are more distractions because you use a cell phone or even a tablet. So, and yeah, I believe that in someday the physical book will disappear. I'm not sure if it's not, I believe that it's not so near from of them, but certainly, I don't know, 10 years in the future, maybe 20 years in the future, I believe that's it's going to disappear, but that's it. Andrew, Luis, go ahead, please.
I prefer the physical ones too. Like you said, it's
Yeah.
more immersive. But I'm a big reader, so I don't have enough money to always buy new books. So sometimes I caught myself reading the ebooks or online ones. But I disagree. I don't think books can be like obsolete sometime. I think we have a big community of readers in the world, big libraries that is important. So I don't think that it will vanish. But I do think that it's kind of not accessible for all people because it's so expensive. It's so hard to have like physical ones in little places or something. But I try to be positive. I think it will not vanish in the future.
I don't have any problem with physical books. I like to, but it sounds like this kind of book are going to disappear. But
Yes, it's a natural
yeah,
path, I guess. But I don't know. I think that maybe, of
yeah,
course, like all the things. But I try to not think about it.
yeah. Unfortunately, for example, in my region, it's common. And on the past, there were a lot of stands, and nowadays don't exist anymore. And I used to say that the magazine disappeared, unfortunately. Catherine, go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah, I agree with Luis. I don't think that physical book will disappear, especially because for kids it's very difficult to focus. So we have some examples outside. Some governments come back for the decision. It's not come back, it's back, right? It's back from the decision to to have digital books. So they are putting physical books again for the kids.
Yeah,
So I think this is the main reason that I don't think that is disappear. And for me, I think it depends on the situation that I am. Because, for example, yesterday I paint my nails. So when I paint my nails, took a long time. And normally I listen audiobooks.
yeah, that's
So I
nice.
really like to do that. I listen audiobooks.
Yeah,
And when I am outside my house, I like to read the books from tablet. I really like tablet. I have a Kindle, but I don't know, tablet is so my tablet is not so small. So it's like a computer and I can read, so I think it's awesome, awesome. I really like to read from tablet. And I like to read the physical books when I am home.
yeah,
So today is a chilly day, so I like to read the physical books. So depends on the situation. That's
sure.
it.
I believe it's almost impossible provide digital books for children. I was talking about on schools. Né? So I believe this in schools is not possible because certainly if you let the kids write books or do exercises on cell phones or tablets is not so good, because certainly the kids are playing and they don't read. Walsin, go ahead, please.
Nowadays, I prefer books, because the most part of time for me, I read books to learn English, and the books is most practice for me. And
Sure.
I read if I have one word I never know. I search about this word, and the books is very practice for me. And but the physical books is very important for kids. For example, as you say, and the books for kids is not works. And the
Sure.
question number 10, I believe the book never going to vanish. Physical books, because
Sure.
for example, vinyl, music in vinyl have a lot of new bands released new albums in vinyl nowadays, and the physical books never vanish.
I do like. Aurelio?
Yes, like Catherine, I don't paint my nails, but I prefer the books. No, I prefer the books depend of the situation. If I stay at home, I prefer the physical book. If if I have the possibility to read during the trip, or if I
Yeah,
stay in another country, I prefer
sure.
to use my phone, because in this way I can read ebook without big problem.
Exactly.
If I'm concentrated, I can tell you, for example, if during my sport activity, I prefer to listen a audio blue book, because in this way I can do in the same times the physical activity, and to improve my capacity with my brain. I
Yeah,
think that is good. Regarding the question number 10, I don't think that in the future we have the possibility to lose the physical book, because the particular characteristic of the physical book is there aren't the necessity to have a battery. In this way, you can read the book in every place, in any moment, without a problem. It's important that you have a light,
yeah,
because
sure.
without a light, you can read. That's it.
Exactly. Well, let me say goodbye from people to YouTube.